How much money can you actually make as a real estate photographer is what I'm going to break down specifically in this video. But I want to start it by saying I personally know real estate photographers who make $0 a month because they don't do anything right. They don't take action. They don't take steps. And on the other side of it, I personally know a real estate photographer, actually two, who do over $300,000 per month in their photo business. And so obviously there's a wide range, and anytime there's a wide range, it's execution dependent. It depends on how long you've been in the business, what actions you take, whether you do the right stuff, whether you do the right thing at the right time. But generally there's some things that you can do to create pretty straightforward results where you kind of know if you do this, you're going to get that. And there's some things where luck is just more involved. And so anyway, on this video, I want to break down what I've seen, and I'm going to break it down by level. The first thing I would say is going into this, it's pretty important to have some idea of what you want to have happen with your business, or a goal at least. And I'm not saying you have to be like, I want to make this much money by this month so I can do this. It doesn't have to be perfectly in place. But what I have seen is that people just approach it, I'm going to give it a shot. They never get anywhere. And so having a goal that's motivating enough for you to put in the work, especially when it gets boring. A lot of times real estate media isn't hard, it's just boring. And I guess that is a type of hard, right? So if you have a concrete goal, if you're like, I want to make $12,000 a month because right now I make $5,000. If I can make $12,000, it would allow me to do this with my family or buy this car or whatever it is for you. That's going to be a stronger reason. And so the first thing that you need to do is identify some sort of goal. And that goal can change once you get into it, but have an idea of what you want to accomplish. When I started this business, I didn't really have a goal. And so I didn't do much the first year, really. And then I started thinking, hey, once I saw the potential, I was like, I want to build a team. I want to build a big business. And so all of my thoughts became, does this help me do that? Or does this hurt me when it comes to that goal, right? And so for me, it was like, well, if I'm fully booked up, should I hire? Well, yes, because my goal is to have a team, right? But if your goal is just to make as much as possible, maybe, as a solo operator, maybe you don't want to hire. So the first thing I would say that's very, very important to do is set an initial goal and set it a little bigger than you think. I'd recommend doubling it. So the first number that comes to mind, if you're someone that makes $5,000 a month, you're like, I just want to make $6,000 a month. I want to replace my income and then some for my own business. I would say just set that goal for $12,000 a month. And the reason I'm saying that is because step number 2, and a really important step, is doing what I call the money math and breaking it down. Because if you just have a goal, that doesn't really help you. You need to see the steps and make it feel possible to get to that goal. And so that's when you're going to have to do a little math. And don't worry, it's not complicated math. So in this case, I'm going to do the $12,000 goal, right? So $12,000, put that on your calculator, your goal. What you're going to do is you're going to divide that $12,000 by $250. And the $250 number represents an average order value that you can get in basically any market. Meaning the average time you go out and do a shoot, you're getting paid $250. Now, if you're like, wait a second, Eli, photos only cost $175 in my area. Same with our area, right? We're talking about add-ons. So it's the average order. Some are way higher, some are lower, but the average, anybody can get it to $250 if you do things right. We've not seen somebody that's doing everything right has less than that, right? So that's kind of a good baseline. Plenty of people have a significantly higher one. So this is like a good baseline. So that shows that we need to do 48 shoots in a month to have a top line or a gross revenue. That's not profit, a revenue of $12,000. Then what I like to do is break that down even more. Now, on an average month, there's 22 business days. Now you could work weekends, but I want to make it the worst case scenario, best case scenario, I guess, working the least, right? So we're going to divide that by 22. So in order to make $12,000 in revenue at a 250 average order value, only working business days, we need to do a little bit over 2 shoots per day on average. Now, a real estate photographer that has been doing this, more than 20 shoots is probably going to average about an hour per shoot, maybe a little longer. And so just to be, again, as conservative as possible, this many shoots is a half day, right? Now, some days you're going to have 4 and some days you're going to have 0, but generally 4 shoots is like a pretty decently booked day. Plenty of people do more, but again, I'm trying to make this as baseline as possible so you're not like, what the heck, Eli said this and it didn't work out. Plenty of people will tell you things that aren't true. That's not what I like to do. I want to give you the worst case scenario because then if you exceed it, you're like, dang, Eli was wrong, but I'm happy because I'm making more, right? So 2 shoots per day is what we need to hit. And that gives you an idea. 2 shoots per day would get you around 12,000. Again, it's going to fluctuate. Some days are busy, some days are not. And so I'm sure that gives you a little bit more context. And you could do the same thing too with a bigger goal. Let's say, you want to do $50,000. Plenty of real estate photographers build their business up over time to $50,000 per month. You have to have a team, right? But the same math applies. And if you're already doing 20 and you want to make 100, you can do the same math. We just need to see how many more shoots we need to add, right? So 50,000 divided by $250. We need to do 200 shoots a month divided by 22 business days. 9 shoots per day. If you want each of your photographers to average 3 and have pretty easy days, we need 3 photographers on our team to do that. And so no matter what your goal is, one of the best things that you can do is once you have that goal, break it down and know exactly what it's going to take, because it's so much easier to visualize and achieve something. It's not like magic here. I'm saying, like, if you just think $50,000, your brain doesn't know how to help you get there. But if you break it down, I need to do 9 shoots a day. Okay, cool. That's going to take 3 photographers, right? So okay, I need 3 photographers. Well, how many clients do I need? And you can look at the math. If you already have 100 clients and you're doing $20,000 per month, you just do the math, divide it. You have 200 clients. And so you know that you need, instead of 200, you need 500 clients to get there. If you're doing 20 and it's 200, it'd be 500 or 100 per 10K, right? And I'm not saying that's the right number. That was completely off the top of my head, by the way, for that one. But you can start actually doing the math to achieve it. If you're already established in business, especially if you want to see the increase. Here's a couple things that I think are important once you have those 2 things in mind. Number 1 is average order value is going to be really important. So we talked about that a little bit with 250, but a lot of real estate photographers, we have a program called Launch for people just starting, but we have Forward for people who have established businesses. One of the things I notice is a lot of people come into Forward with less than a $250 average order value. Some people have more, and there's plenty of other stuff to fix, but a lot of people have less. Here's how that impacts your business really negatively. So let's say you're doing, $12,000 a month right now, but your average order value is only 180. You're having to do 66 shoots a month instead of 40. So if I divide that by 22, you're doing 3 shoots a day to make the same amount of money as someone with a $250 average order value doing 2 shoots a day. So you're almost booked up only doing 12,000, where that person can scale way easier, right? Because they're going to have more money per hour they work. And so tip number 1, again, goal in mind, break down the goal with math, but then tips to help you make that happen more effectively is what I'm on now. Tip number 1 is make sure that your average order value is high enough and is over 250. And if it's over 250, still work on it. You always want to push it higher. Some things you can do to make that happen is, number 1, you can't just be a real estate photographer. You have to offer all the services eventually, not from day 1, but eventually. 3D tours, video, floor plans, all sorts of editing stuff that you just outsource, virtual twilights, room staging, virtual staging, that kind of stuff, right? But that's number 1. You need to be real estate photography versus real estate media. Number 2, you need to be thoughtful about your pricing and packages. Number 3, you need to make sure that you have some sort of online order booking system, because what we found when we tested it with 10 different real estate photographers is that when someone books online, it's an average of $100 more average order value, right? Because it's on the phone, like, you're not as good at, I thought I was good at it, I wasn't, right? You're not as good at showing them all the options. There's just not the same level of ability to do that than when they're seeing it on the screen. So get them to order online, right? Have your packages thoughtfully built out. Make sure that if you're taking forever to do a shoot, and so that's the reason you're maxed out, you work on being more efficient there. But these things will all help you boost your average order value and boost the amount of shoots you can do in a day so that you can actually achieve your goal. And so I think I just talked really fast there. And so feel free to go back through, watch it a little slower. It's something I get really excited about because there's so much potential for people that have businesses to improve here. And there's so much potential for someone just starting to really kill it out of the gate. And so to wrap around to the initial question, which is, how much can you actually make as a real estate photographer? Like I said, I see people making $300,000 a month in revenue, and revenue, not take home, right? You have to pay people first, but still great take home income. And I see people that never get the business off the ground. And so there's a huge range. And what determines your success is how consistently you're able to put in work, whether you do the right things in the right order. That's very important, because if you do things too early or too late, it's going to slow you down. And just genuinely how good you are at the things you do. And when I say good, it's not like an innate skill set. It means when you are told how to do something, you execute it well, you're willing to learn, and that sort of thing. And so it's all in your control. I think real estate photography is an awesome industry to be in. I've not seen another niche in photography where there are a lot of photographers making more than 20 grand a month. And there absolutely are in real estate media. And so I want to put the pressure on you. Not that you have to be skilled, not that this is going to be the most complex thing ever, because it's not. I want to put the pressure on you when it comes to doing the work, getting around the right people that can help you do this or that have done this, and really executing on that, because there's so much potential in real estate media, and you're the person that gets to decide whether you get to take advantage of that potential or, like so many other photographers, you just stay broke. And that's not what I want. That's not why I make these videos. That's not why I have REPP, because I want to make money. I built an awesome real estate media business, and I want you to make money. And both those things align when it comes with REPP, or when it comes to REPP. rep at least. So I hope this video was valuable to you. If you want to talk with my team about what you could do better in your business, or if you're just starting and you want to launch well, click the link below. We have a bunch of resources we can connect you to, and most importantly, we can connect you to coaching if it's the right time and if you're interested, and really supercharge your business with you. I made every mistake in the book the first few years, and that's why my business grew so much more slowly than a lot of our coaching clients. And so take advantage, at least talk with us, and go figure out what your goals are, at least your next goal. Break it down, know those numbers so you can start working to achieve them. I'll see you in the next video.